Have you ever wondered what's the difference between MCP and traditional APIs? In this video, we'll discuss this topic. So once they do quite the same thing, so they allow us to communicate to some external applications, services, data sources, and so on, they are different because they do it in very different ways. The first one point is structure and purpose. So when we use typical APIs, they are built from specific applications or services, each with its own format, authentication, and endpoints. So with API, we use specific one application, okay? This is actually the bridge, this is the connection to one application. But MCP, on the other hand, is a universal protocol. It provides a single consistent way for AI models to access many different tools and data sources without custom integrations. So as you can see, the structure is different. Of course, it's only one protocol. However, it allows us to connect to different tools and data sources without custom integrations, okay? We don't need to provide any authentication, endpoints, parameters, or anything else. How they work? With an API, you usually write code to connect one system to another. Or if we use an IDEN, we use HTTP request, okay? With MCP, the connection is dynamic and model-driven. The AI itself discovers available tools, understands what they can do, and decides when to use them. This is a huge difference, basically, because once again, we connect API through HTTP request, we just give some parameters, authentication, and by this way, we just connect it. But with MCP, we create our MCP server that hosts everything, all right, every tool we've got. And then we use our MCP client to connect to it. And it's dynamic and model driven. We can customize the MCP server, add some applications, and then it's dynamically changed. Let's move on. We've got flexibility. So APIs are static. They require manual setup for each new service. If you want to have another service connected directly to your automation, to your project, whatever, you need to just set it up manually. But if you use MCP, we can connect different applications. Just have one place where we do this, and then across all our automations that use this MCP server, like it's automatically updated. So a model can connect to multiple MCP servers and automatically get an updated list of tools or functions available. This is a huge difference. Yeah, this is a huge difference. Because just imagine if API just updated its API, okay? If some service updated their API, then we've got some problem. We need to update some fields. We need to change something. Like it happens. It happened for me maybe 2 times when I was using an IDEN. But with MCP, you do, even if someone changes, okay, if something changes, then you just change the thing inside MCP server, not, for instance, in 10 different automations. So at the end of the day, it makes it much easier. And last but not least, we've got use case difference. So APIs are for developers. They are built and consumed manually. MCP is for AI agents. It's designed so that the AI itself can interact with real-world systems in a structured, secure way. So MCP is an upgraded version of API. Still, if you think of just connecting one application to one automation or even a few, you can use APIs. I'm still using APIs even though I have MCP, just the possibility. But once again, APIs are great for static connections, for just connecting our applications. If we don't need to change anything here, like we use it once again for a few workflows or just one, it's still nice. Nevertheless, remember that it saves more time to set up an MCP and then give it an access like your agent or your automation, whatever, to this MCP, and then you've got all applications inside one place. Nevertheless, this is the difference between MCP and APIs. I hope you enjoyed it, and with all that being said, I will see you in the next video.